The Wall and the Wing by Laura Ruby. The chapter before the first. The professor remembers. In a vast and sparkling city, a city at the center of the universe, one little man remembered something big. He was very old, this little man, his full name forgotten over the years. He called himself the Professor. His specialties were numerous and included psychology, criminology, mathematics, history, aerodynamics, zoology, and gardening. He also collected beer cans. Other than the delivery boy who left his groceries at the back door, the professor hadn't seen anyone in at least 10 years. It was just as well, since a hair-growing experiment had left him with a head full of long green grass. Also, he didn't like clothing, so he wore ladies' snap-front house dresses and rubber flip-flops with white socks. He spent much of his time fiddling in his workshop, feeding the many kittens that popped out of his pockets, and looking things up on eBay. Today, he stood in front of his blackboard, which was covered with mathematical equations, tugging at a dandelion that had poked up through the lawn on his scalp. Suddenly, his eyes widened. He scrawled a few more equations. Yes, he saw it, right there in his many calculations. A child. He stared at the figures dancing across the board, his forehead creased with annoyance. How on earth he could have forgotten that such a thing, such a person existed, was beyond him. But the professor simply didn't like people. Not their company, not their conversation, nada. Anything having to do with people made the roots of his teeth pulse with irritation. And here on his blackboard was proof that a very particular sort of person had been born into a cruel and stupid world, filled with cruel and stupid people. Frankly, the professor wanted nothing to do with any of them. But facts are facts, and the professor liked to keep his straight. Shaking his head at himself, he sat down at his lab table, pulled his notebook from underneath a large tabby cat, and made a few notes. "Approximately once every century or so," he wrote. "Wall. Usually, but not always, female." After scribbling these notes, the professor smoothed out a rumpled map.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?